Here's one of my pet peeves is when people are told, oh, people who are overweight just need to eat less. It sets me off. Like, I'm just like, it makes me so mad, because if they knew how many people are starving themselves and can't lose weight, I mean, it's just ridiculous. So what happens when we calorie restrict, when we just eat less, or we just try to eat tiny amounts of food, or we habituate ourselves to hardly even have an appetite? And what ends up happening is you decrease your metabolism. Now, your metabolism isn't how fast you burn calories or burn fat. Your metabolism, I mean, burning fat's part of it, but your metabolism is the sum total of all chemical processes happening in your body at any given time. So, it's much more complex. So when you calorie restrict, you slow down or imbalance this process. You also increase hunger. So your body's like, oh, there's not enough food. We're not getting enough nutrients. Let's yell louder. Let's get hungrier so we can get this person to eat, because we need nutrition. And so then it increases hunger. It also causes muscle and bone loss. So you basically literally start eating your own tissues. You're living off your own tissues. So if you're vegan or vegetarian, then that's not very vegan or vegetarian. Sorry, that might have been a tasteless shift, but I couldn't resist. So, and then it increases stress hormones. And when we're stressed, this is something to really remember. When we're stressed out and we have these stress hormones released, that actually triggers an insulin response. Insulin is a hormone that tells your body to store fat. It also gets it gets glucose out of the blood, and gets nutrients to cells and things like that. It's a little more complex than that, but in a lot of ways, insulin is a fat storage hormone, and it's directly linked to stress. Also, stress triggers inflammation, so which leads to a lot of damage and disease. So stress is one of the biggest causes of weight gain, which not so. Yes, maybe you were binge eating during the pandemic, but also just the stress of it without changing your diet at all can cause weight gain. And so there are a lot of techniques for modulating or calming down your nervous system that can become part of your lifestyle to make us more resilient to emotional stress, because we can't make the external world change very much. We have some control, but our internal response is, we have more control of that than I think we realize. And then calorie restricting makes your body think you're starving. So it fights tooth and nail to protect you by preserving body fat. So when your body won't let go of fat, it's because it doesn't think you're safe, and it's trying to protect you, because your body is your best friend. Your body is your best friend. Everything it's doing, every single thing, every pain, every pound is your body trying to love you, protect you, and make you safe. Calorie restriction causes fatigue, brain fog, yucky moods, weight loss yo-yos and plateaus, which we know cause more health problems, and then loss of self-confidence and shame. It makes you believe, well, I failed again. I guess this will never change. I guess this is just how I have to be forever. And it's very defeating. So please, if you get nothing else out of this presentation, please stop worrying about calories. Like, please don't calorie count, don't calorie restrict, do not starve yourself. What I would like you to learn is how to balance your meals so that you're full and satiated and you feel good and you get pleasure from your food and you feel great. And and you're not struggling with appetite control issues. And then if you do have more complex metabolic imbalances, there's deeper troubleshooting that can happen. So basically the pattern with calorie restriction is you lose some weight initially, you plateau, you feel terrible, then you relapse, and then you regain what you lost, maybe more, right? And I don't know, it's familiar to me. I don't know about you guys, but it's familiar to me. Okay, so why does this happen? Why do we get stuck? So there's a theory called set point theory. Some people call it body fat set point theory. Some people call it metabolic set point theory. But it's the idea that we have a set point that our bodies to maintain something called homeostasis, which is like a form of balance. So that if there's more food, you don't necessarily gain weight, but if there's not quite as much food, you don't lose too much weight and get too thin, which is, evolutionarily speaking, historically has been a bigger threat. If you look at this from an evolutionary biology standpoint, obesity has not really been an issue. So we haven't really had to evolve a lot of mechanisms to combat that. We've had to evolve mechanisms to combat starvation. So when we're stressed out, your body thinks maybe there's a famine, maybe I need to hold on to some body fat, store some energy for the future, and become more efficient. So those of you who have, the more you gain weight, the more efficient your body is. Like your body, you're actually set up that if there was famine, your body's set up to tolerate it better, even though obviously I don't want you going without food. So anyway, so it's just, and we've evolved to all have some variety. We're all a little different. Not everybody's that way because diversity in biology creates more probability that the species will survive. So the thing is, so we've evolved mechanisms to stabilize our weight and protect us from famine. But the thing is, we haven't had time to evolve protection from dangerous degrees of excess, which is what we've been doing, especially by pharmaceuticalizing sugar, refining oils, all kinds of things, and just all these additives and preservatives and pesticides and fertilizers that all do damage to our body chemistry. So think of belly fat or obesity or weight struggles as dysregulation or confusion of your set point. So if you're having trouble losing weight, you're feeling stuck, whether you eat more, eat less, it doesn't seem to budge. It means your set point is not budging because it's trying to protect you because it is confused, which happened to a lot of people during the pandemic, whether you binge ate or not. So how do set points get confused? I kind of already pointed to that, but we have to look at the root causes of belly fat. And then if you look at the causes, you can usually work backwards to get to the solutions.